Hello, it's King Mob on Radio Lewes. And today I'm going to have a dance party. But the big twist is it's in your house. So you've got to push back the furniture. You've got to put the children in an appropriate place. You've got to invite in your friends and neighbours because we're all going to do the shag.
My good loving baby had stood me up and I didn't wanna do the bop. I didn't wanna do the bop. I stood in a corner all alone, watching them do the drag.
What a drag.
When the queen of the hub strolled up to me and asked me if I knew how to shag. Asked me if I knew how to shag. Well, I knew how to walk, I knew how to slide, I knew how to pogo too. I could chicken hop and chop, 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 but the shag was totally new. The shag was totally new. She said, come on man, let's burn up the floor. The shag is easy to do. She showed me how and in no time at all I was shagging too.
Me too.
I was shagging too. Instead of bop, I'm her king and she's my queen. When we go to the house, when we go to the house, we shag instead of bop. We shag instead of bop. The shag is totally cool. The shag is totally cool.
Well, that's a fantastic track, and I was hoping to follow it with When Auntie Fondled the Kazoo, but actually that was Fred Astaire, and he's not due until the end of the show. That was like a sneak peek. For some reason, Fred just popped in. Anyway, don't worry, Fred, we'll get to you. As I say, I was hoping to play When Auntie Fondled the Kazoo, but there is no song called that, so I can't do it. Instead, I'm turning for dancing to Wilson Pickett because Wilson Pickett is the only guy I know that could take a song with no discernible melody, lyrics that just could be written by a complete idiot, and still make it attractive. So here's Soul Dance number 3.
Now everybody's talking about all the brand new dances. That I'm gonna do for you. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna start with a dance now, baby. Call it boogaloo. You know that one, don't you?
Wilson, all you girls with your mini skirts on, you look good. Wilson, that just won't play. This is 2018. Anyway, I like it. And at the end of the song, he starts on and on about this dance, the shing-a-ling, which really gets me because it's not the only time Wilson Pickett does that. He refers to it in Land of a Thousand Dances, the shing-a-ling. And even on Funky Broadway, he ends up with like, everybody do the shing-a-ling. Now, I've done my research. There was never any dance called the shing-a-ling. It's just like a made-up thing that Wilson did. Anyway, I guess any excuse to get on the dance floor. Speaking of which, let's go back down the timeline to the mid-1980s. Ooh, ooh. I do my own effects. And I was making money in the 80s. I was like, successful. I was working in advertising and hanging out with people, and I was getting about. And people said, yeah, let's all go down to Heaven, this nightclub. So I go down to Heaven, this nightclub, which was absolutely fantastic place. I mean, it was probably the biggest dance place I'd been to. Great sound system, great DJs. But the place was full of men. It was like a men-only type club. I think it was the first of its kind in England, like a big thing for men. And when they played the next track I'm going to play you, most of those men got on the dance floor and started doing a really vulgar, lewd kind of dance to this particular track. And of course the hanging question is, did I join in? Well, some things it's better not to talk about.
Driving down those city streets,
There's that lovely big woman, Grace Jones. And I mean big, I don't mean big in size. I mean just big, because she's like occupies space in a really defined way. And she's like a living sculpture, and I adore Grace Jones. And what am I going to play now? I know. Miles Davis. Because that's the last thing you expect at a dance party. Because, like, you associate Miles Davis with, like, offbeat things and difficult time signatures. But actually, Miles was cool as anything and was a really big fan of Sly and the Family Stone. And I wanted to work with Sylvester Stallone on the film Rocky, but he got turned down because he was too skinny. Anyway, this is Miles Davis with Mystery. That's Miles Davis. Obviously, it didn't depress him that he didn't get the part of Apollo Creed in Rocky, but anyway, he still was just world's greatest trumpet player like ever and ever And even though he's dead, he's still world's greatest trumpet player, as far as I'm concerned. Moving right along. You don't really associate goth music with dance and the whole goth scene and pale-faced women with low cleavage and long hair and kind of strange bracelets. But Morticia Adams, I think, had a really big effect. And if you remember, I remember the old TV show, but you probably will remember at least the lovely movies they made of the Addams Family. And there was one character in there that just gets everybody. And it's called Ding, and it's that hand. And you just love it because, like, Morticia goes, Ding, get me a cup of tea. And it just brings a cup of tea. And she goes, Ding, bring me some money so I can go shopping. And it just puts dollars out. I mean, who doesn't want a thing, right? So that inspired Jackie Wilson to write this great dance song, brand new, Ding.
All right, so you say you want to hear a little more. Huh, okay. Now here I come, mama, with part number 2. So stick around, baby, cause it's me and you. I'm with your little girl, and you're with me. Now all you gotta do is know how to count to 1, 2, 3. Do it by yourself, if that's what you wanna do. You can even have a partner, and I don't care who. Brand new thing, brand new thing. Brand new thing, brand new thing. Move it and groove it, slip it and slide it, leave it and hide it. Any way you wanna glide it. Brand new thing, brand new thing. Hey baby, brand new thing. Listen, I ain't got much to say about Papa's brand new bag, but what you gonna do when that bag begins to sag? Here's what I know, and I think you can do too. Get with the nitty-gritty like all the rest of us do. If this ain't enough, here's all I can say. Rock it all night and you can rock it all day. Do a brand new thing, brand new thing, brand new thing, ooh, brand new thing, ooh, baby, brand new thing. Move it and groove it, slip it and slide it. Brand new thing, brand new thing. Come on, fellas. Brand new, a brand new thing. Woo! Can't stop myself. Brand new thing, brand new thing. Can't help myself. Brand new thing. Moving and I'm grooving, slipping and sliding, peeping and hiding. Come on, baby. Brand new thing. Brand new thing. BRANDTHING. Come on. Brand new thing. Woo! Move on. I like it like that, baby. One more time. One more time. Don't stop the music. Everything is working out fine. Brand new thing.
Yeah, that's Jackie keeping the party moving. Everybody doing all right out there now? You're getting around the room, showing your moves. I sincerely hope so. And I'm going to keep going. We got more. I mean, the grooves just don't stop here on the King Mob Show. Because I'm now going to play a track by a guy called Van McCoy. And some of you will remember that Van McCoy was the lead singer with them. And then he went on to record a great solo album called Astral Weeks. And then for some reason you didn't hear from him for a while. But he came back during the disco fever period. And he recorded this track, which I've just been informed by Ben, who works here at Radio Lewes, that this is Fry from Futurama's one of his 2 favorite songs. So this is for you, Fry.
Do it.
Well, that's the hustle. And I never did the hustle myself, but I imagine it to be like one of those dance floor things where you mimic stealing from other people while you're doing it, like you're hustling them and you're like waving your hand in front of them and they look at your hand and then your other hand is like nicking their wallet or their purse or whatever. That'd be good to see. But I mean, just generally, dance crazes they're all fantastic. I mean, I won a twist contest when I was 13. I've never got over it. I still feel great about that. I wake up and I go, yeah, I won that twist contest. All kinds of dance movements and things, do the swim, do the fly, do the fish, do the whatever. Anyway, it's the locomotion. And I played the locomotion before when we did the all-girls show. But it is... I mean, I DJ sometimes actually, like in actual places with real people, not like in a room where there's nobody. And if I put the locomotion on, it will just fill the dance floor. And everybody starts doing that thing where, like, I'm a steam train and they're moving there. And these people have never seen a steam train. I mean, except in old movies or something, but everybody knows how to just be a steam train. And this is the locomotion. Yeah, well, that's Little Eva with the locomotion. I don't know if you know this, but originally it was going to be Big Eva recorded it, but she put her back out before the session, and it was Little Eva that got the hit. I'm now going to play a track which with that Brazilian thing, like where they drink acai juice and get on the dance floor, and they're all sinuous and sexy. I mean, I've never been to Brazil, except in my imagination. Which is not a bad way to go places, actually. If you've got a healthy, or in my case, unhealthy imagination, you'd be amazed where you could go with it. Anyway, in my imagination, Brazil sounds like this by Anguille. There we go. A bit of samba in your front room. It's all going on. I'm feeling it. And it's like the heat. And I'm enjoying this. I'm digging, dancing with you. Not actually dancing. I'm just sort of sitting here, chatting. But I, as is well known amongst people who know, I do love to dance. And probably one of the biggest dance movies of all time was Footloose, starring Kevin Bacon, Molly Ringwald, and John Wayne. And I never saw the movie, but I know that it had a great soundtrack, and I know that it inspired loads of people to dance, which is, in my book, it's a good thing. So here's Kenny Loggins, and let's all get Footloose. say everybody's shag footloose? Is that the return of the shag? My God. Well, and what I didn't say earlier about the shag, there are videos available online where you can learn how to, do the shag. It's a parental advisory situation, obviously. Anyway, barefooting. It's one of my all-time favourites. I love this track, Robert Parker, barefooting. And but again, caution: barefoot dancing. There's bits of nails on the floor, or you can hurt your foot. So be careful. Do it. Take your shoes off. Get that shoes off feeling. I'd take the socks off as well if I were you, especially with this hot weather. But just an element of caution. Barefooting.
Everybody get on your feet. You make me nervous when you're in your seat. Take off your shoes and pat your feet. We doing a dance that can't be beat. We barefooting. We barefooting. We barefooting. We barefooting. Went to a party the other night. Long tall Sally was out of sight. Threw away a wig and her house sneakers too. She was doing a dance without any shoes. She was barefooting. She was barefooting. She was barefooting. She was barefooting. Hey little girl with your red dress on, I bet you can barefoot all night long. Take off your shoes and throw them away. Come back and get them another day. We barefooting. We barefooting. We barefooting. We barefooting. Everybody get barefooted. Take off your shoes. John Henry, he said to Sue, if I barefoot, would you barefoot too? Sue told John, I'll stir your stew. I was barefooting ever since I was 2. They was barefooting. They was barefooting. They was barefooting. We barefooting. We barefooting. We barefooting.
I love the way he shouts out, "Don't have no shoes on," towards the end, because the whole song's been called, he's just been saying barefoot. He must say barefooting about 80 times in the song. But just to remind you at the end, just before the fade, it's like, "Don't got no shoes on." We got it. But what a track. Cautionary again now. Dancing in the dark. It's tricky. Manageable on your own if you've got a few people there. Could be nasty collisions, could be injuries that could strain the health service. So, dancing in the dark, yes, it's sexy and it's fun. But again, King Mob urges you with caution.
And I ain't got nothing to say. I come home in the morning, I go to bed feeling the same way. I ain't nothing but tired. Man, I'm just tired and bored with myself. Hey there, baby, I could use just a little help. You can't start a fire on and I'm moving round the place. I check my look in the mirror. Wanna change my clothes, my hair, my face, and I ain't getting nowhere. I just live in a dump like this. There's something happening somewhere. Baby, I just know this. You can't start a fire. You can't start a fire without a spark. This gun's for hire. Even if we're just dancing in the dark. You sit around getting older. There's a joke, here's the wine, it's on me. I shake this world off my shoulders. Come on, baby, the laughs on me. Stay on the streets of this town, and they'll be carving you up alright. You say you gotta stay hungry. Hey, baby, I'm just a fast star tonight. I'm dying for some action. I'm sick of sitting around here trying to write this book. I need a love reaction. Come on, baby, give me just one look. We can't start a fire. Sitting around crying over a broken heart. This gun's for hire. Even if we're just dancing in the dark, we can't start a fire. Worried about your little world falling apart. This gun's for hire. Even if we're just dancing in the dark. 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 Hey, baby.
Dancing in the Dark. And if you remember the video, it appears that Bruce is playing to a live audience and it's all fabulous, and there's a cute young girl in the audience, and he invites her up on stage to dance. It was a big hit in the video. Anyway, that was Courtney Cox. And out of that, she was an actress hired to just look like she was an all-American girl. And out of that, she got, friends and all of the things that happened. So she got a kick-off. That's Cox through Springsteen. I can't believe I said that. Now, Egypt's most popular group, Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. They did this track called Woolly Bully, and nobody ever can work out what they're singing about. It was a big, big hit. And I wondered for years, what is a woolly bully? And again, like I get on with it. I did my research. I looked. Turns out in the history of rodeo, women weren't involved. They weren't doing the roping and the wrestling of the bulls and the lassoing and steer dogging and whatever they did back then, still do in big rodeo shows. Actually, it was only a short period because even though it's like a male thing, they were pretty up to date. They had cowgirls, and cowgirls did contests and did stuff. But before they got the cute cowgirls doing the roping and the lassoing and everything, they didn't know what to do with the women. What do you do with the women at a big old rodeo? So, well, they had like the hottest chili contest, also known as the toilet race. And for the winners, they'd get all the women to knit this like huge take like 30 women to do it. They'd knit a huge life-sized bull. And so that's what a woolly bully is, and here's Woolly Bully.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go. Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs doing that woolly bully thing. Boy, I love that. And speaking of weirdly named bands, there's plenty of them. And boy, you know, we're getting towards the close again. I mean, this show's just zipped by with that dance music thing. And I hope you're all, you know, sweating out there in your front rooms or wherever it is you're doing this. And by the way, I just wanted to say a big thanks from all of us here at Radio Lewes that you do this. And when I ask you to do things like, you know, I know last week when we did the Shadows show, a lot of people have spoken to me in the town during the week, and I've had mails about it and saying, you know, Steve, how can I get out of the shadow world? I mean, it's interesting and it's kind of different and everything's like reversed and backwards and mystical and I'm liking it. But how do I get out? You know, well, I don't really know. I mean, I got out. I'm fine. I'm back out in the sunshine. But anyway, I'll work on that because if I don't want my listeners stuck in shadow world. But thanks for dancing this week. I'm going to play one more dance track and then I'm going to finish with something cool, elegant, and sophisticated. But this is not. This is Tommy Jones and the Chandels with Moni Moni, or as I call it, Moni Mona.
Here she comes now, saying Moni Moni. Well, shoot 'em down, turn around, come on, Moni. Good.
And so now, I'm going to imitate Lord Beezer. Because Lord Beezer does the old time stuff really well. Hang on. Ladies and gentlemen, the most wonderful entertainer, dancer, singer, piano player, the wonderful Fred Astaire.
Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I seek when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Heaven, I'm in heaven, and the cares that hung around me through the week seem to vanish like a gambler's lucky streak when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I love to climb a mountain and to reach the highest peak, but it doesn't thrill me half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I love to go out fishing in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Dance with me, I want my arm about you, the charm about you will carry me through to heaven. I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I seek when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek.